Hey Timely Teachers, it's the Timely Teacherpreneur here, and today we are talking all about how to brain dump effectively. Before we dive into that, let's do a brief refresh. If you're new to this channel, my name's Rainey. I am a Teacherpreneur productivity mentor, so I help you master your time and energy while scaling your business so that you can ditch the hustle and grind, break up with busy, and stop sacrificing your mental health. And so I share productivity tips and strategies for teacherpreneurs every every Sunday and Wednesday, and then Sunday is more productivity focused, and then Wednesday is more teacherpreneur tip focused. So be sure, if that is the sort of thing that you are about, to subscribe and like and share and all of that stuff so that more people can find my content. But with that, today we are going to talk all about how to brain dump, what brain dumping is, and then my exact process for brain dumping. Now, I will say that my son is in the bedroom on the other side of the house, and my husband is trying to put him to sleep, and he's just not having it. So if you happen to hear a crying baby, I apologize, but nap time hustle is how it's gotta be, you know? Now let's talk a little bit about what exactly a brain dump is. You might have heard of that term before, you might not have. There's totally other different ideas I've heard. I've heard idea dump, I've heard RAM dump, which that was from a book that I read that I can't remember right now. But a brain dump essentially is taking all of the information and all of the ideas that you've been keeping in your brain or storing as of late and getting them out, whether it's onto paper, whether it's into your project management system, like I love to use Trello, but getting it somewhere so that it's out of your brain. Because your brain is not actually meant to keep all of your information. Of course, your brain is supposed to store information, but if you're trying to remember every single to-do list of yours, or every single birthday, or every single doctor's appointment and stuff, and you're storing it all in your brain, you're going to forget something. And then you're going to push something out of your brain that definitely should have stayed in there. And before you know it, you're forgetting things left and right. Your memories are all jumbled. You're not really sure what should be focused on. And, oh, you missed that doctor's appointment. And, oh, you missed this. And, oh, you missed that. And so it's important to be able to weekly, sometimes even daily, take those thoughts out of your brain and get them out onto paper. And so I'm going to share how I actually brain dump for just life and business in general. I love to do a big beginning of the month brain dump, a weekly brain dump, and a daily brain dump. And I categorize my brain dumps. There's all different ways that you can do this. Just keep in mind that this is my process, so it might not work for you. You might love this process, you might not. But let's talk about the type of tools that you need to brain dump effectively. There are 3 things that I ultimately need for brain dumping. The first thing is you need time to actually brain dump. So give yourself some time. I always like to set a 15-minute timer. I can usually do pretty solid brain dumps in 15 minutes or less. I like to do this at the end of the day, especially so that I can map out my day for the next day. But I typically will do my weekly brain dump on Sundays for Sunday planning, just like I plan everything else out, and that's when I do it. So you have to put the time aside. Then you need to have your method of storing it, whether it's going to be on pen and paper, whether it's going to be in a project management system like Trello or ClickUp or a Google Doc or on your notes app in your phone. For the purposes of today, I typically will put it into Trello, but I'm going to use it on my nice new iPad first, and you can see a sneak at my planners that are going to be coming out super soon. So that's there. And then you also need, now this one I discovered from another productivity person's YouTube, probably like 4 or 5 years ago, and I've been using it since, and it's phenomenal. It's called an incompletion triggers worksheet. So basically, it just gives you little ideas of things that you could do to trigger ideas of stuff you could write down. So for example, let me look at my triggers list. It says stuff like expenses, meetings, projects, social media, sales pages, YouTube videos, new products, courses, giveaways, collabs, all of that stuff, so that I just see that word and go, oh, I actually wanted to do a collaboration with so-and-so. I'm so glad that I had that list. It triggered me to remember that so I can write it down. And so I've actually made my own one that I feel is very useful. I will, if you are interested in that, then I will try and make a link for it because I don't actually have one right now, and then I will put it in there for you. But having some sort of triggers list of things that you always need to remember to check, whether it's events, whether it's meetings, whether it's business tasks, whether it's personal life tasks, just different triggers that you can use so that you can effectively remember for when you're brain dumping. Because the point of the brain dump is to get everything out of the brain. Everything. You don't want anything left in there on accident. So definitely use an incompletion triggers worksheet. And then just like that, you're ready to plan, and it's very simple from there. So then you just brain dump it all out. So I'm gonna actually show my process for then how I categorize it and all of the things. And so you're gonna be seeing that from above and hearing my wonderful voice. And so I'm just gonna show you my process. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is to actually brain dump all the stuff. Just get it all out of your head. So the very first thing I do is just write down literally anything that comes to mind. Whether it's a personal thing like going grocery shopping, or I don't know, going to the park with my son, or picking up something from a friend, to a business task like paying taxes, or a blog post idea, or a YouTube idea, or someone that I want to collaborate with, or like someone I want to pitch to be on their podcast for. Anything and everything will go onto this list. It's not in any semblance of order. It just is how it is. And then after I've created the whole list is when I can start to categorize it. But for this first about 5 to 7 minutes of the brain dump, I just write it all out on the table, and it's very random and disorganized, but then it's out of your brain and you should already feel that big wave of relief. So then once that part is over, you're actually going to categorize them. So I will typically just color code it and make like business one thing, school another, because I have my 9 to 5 as a school teacher, and then personal life as another. And I will categorize all of the life things together so that I know this is my personal list, this is my business list, and this is my school list. And so then that actually makes it easier to transfer over to Trello once I've written it all out, because I like to brain dump it all on paper and pen first and then move it into my Trello database. And so I'm going to show you what I do on Trello as well. So then what I do for Trello is once it's in there, I actually take it into my running to-do list board. And this is just where all of my ideas are stored. They don't have a scheduled date or time until I move them into the doing section. And I only like to have 3 things in there at a time. If you have too many things, then you're trying to accomplish too much at the same time and you end up getting nothing done. So no more than 3 is what will be on my list at any given moment. Now I will go to the to-do list bank, and I like to categorize them there too. So I'll input the ones that I just did, and then I'll give them each a label: biz, personal life, or school. That way I know when I'm easily looking for like, oh, I have a lot of business tasks to do, I can look through and immediately see, oh, orange is business, or blue is personal, or whatever colors I color coded them. And then when I'm ready to take one, I will drag and drop it over into the doing section so that I know that it is being completed that week, that day, whatever day I set it for. You can even put a due date in Trello if you really want to keep on track even more. But that way I know I have the running list where all of it can be stored without me having to like freak out about it having to be done right away. I have my actual doing list, which I know needs to be done in that given moment. And then I have my done list. So another thing that I also like doing once I actually have these tasks on my to-do list is to actually map them out further and break them down into smaller and actionable tasks so that when I finally do want to move them to the doing section, I can do that more easily. So for example, let's make Beethoven virtual field trip. Let's take that. So let's break down the tasks that would take. So that would require researching Beethoven's life. Oh my gosh, I can't type. Make doc with facts for the PowerPoint, find photos of Beethoven and clip art, create a template for the field trip, actually create field trip, check all links, and then make preview, thumbnails, etc., and then upload to GPT. So that way, when I'm actually going into making tasks and moving stuff into the doing section, I could actually take one of these and turn it into a task. So maybe I want to actually research today Beethoven's life. Now that's actually its own task, and I can move it into the doing section, and then I know that forward motion is being met. If you actually want it to be even better, let me find my Beethoven one. Where did it go? Where did Beethoven go? Where did he go? Did I just delete him on accident? I totally could have done that. No, I didn't. Okay. If you want to make it even better, I would recommend making this a checklist and then putting it all there, because once you've actually completed a task, you can check it off and it'll tell you how much you've gotten done of that actual task. Right now, so I've got one-on-one done because I didn't actually put the rest of these as check marks, but that would be a really easy thing to do as well. So then your task is not this giant task on your to-do list. It actually has actionable steps that you can map it out so that you know in the future what you need to focus on when you're trying to map out your week or map out your day. And then that's essentially how I brain dump. So it's not very difficult, not very hard. I typically will do this every Sunday for sure to plan out my week. And then I always like to brain dump at night as well. And I'm simply just moving stuff into that to-do section of that Trello board. It doesn't have an attached date. It doesn't have an attached time, any of that sort of thing, because otherwise then it starts to just get a little bit crazy. So make sure that you have some sort of place that you can store your brain dumps so that you know what's coming down the pike, and you have a place that when you need to think of ideas or tasks that you can move your business forward, then you can always end up doing that because you have a list to pull from, and they're not just all on your current to-do list, they're on your needs to be done list, but you can schedule them out for when is best for you. If you like this video, please make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share so that other people can find this, and always refer back to this if you're interested in getting a refresher on how to brain dump. I highly recommend that you add brain dumping into your time in your business if you don't already have it there. It's been very, very helpful in making sure that I don't forget important dates and that everything ends up getting accomplished in my day-to-day goals and business and all of that good stuff. With that, I'm going to let you go. I have a couple more videos to record because the nap time hustle never stops, and I'll check in with you guys next time.